let me just get the standard disclaimer in that we always have to do after a loss here. This is not a review of the season. This is what I think after the Tottenham game. But I do think there's a bigger picture to this. And I'm sure if you watch the review, you know which particular part I'm going to bang on about. I know I'm like a scratched record because I'm going to talk about pace. So, yes, that was something that was prevalent within this particular game. Do I think that's it? You know, it's the end of the season? No. Can we win games for the remainder of this season with the squad we have? Yes, we can. However, I do absolutely believe that it's something we need to recruit for, and we need to be looking for that particular trait when we're going to go and buy players. I think for too long there's a couple of things that we ignored when we went and bought players. I think number one, we didn't really look at their injury record. We might look at how they could kick a ball or whatever, take set pieces, head, whatever it might be. But for too long, West Ham would sign injury-prone players. And I hope, we're a lot better at that now. We will actually dismiss it. That's something that obviously David Moyes would have brought in. Never mind David Moyes, I would hope Golden Sullivan, after bringing in the likes of Andy Carroll, Jack Wilshere. I know they did different things for the club, but actually when you look at the amount of money we spent on Carroll, he played, about a third of the games. It wasn't good. We signed an injury-prone player, put it that way. I think we've got better at that. I think the other thing that David Moyes likes to do is, we call it the David Moyes MOT. It's that character. He's scouting for character. He's scouting for resilience. And we saw that in abundance. We looked at that. Look at how we played against Aston Villa. I thought it was resilience that sort of got us through at a point when they didn't appear to have any, when they were throwing themselves to the floor. We had the resilience, we had the fight, we had the spirit. And then to go and play back-to-back really good games against Sevilla and come through. There was a real spirit of the team. Everyone was praising it. We've spoken about how the team celebrate amongst one another, about how they look like a band of brothers. They really do. The camaraderie between the players and the coaches staff, all of that. And we absolutely get it. I understand it. So if he only wants to bring in a player that's going to work within that unit, is going to be part of the group. They call it the group, don't they? I get it. And I think it's the reasonable thing to scout for. Scout for personality. Okay, personality, injury record. But I tell you what, we've got to throw pace into the mix here. We really do. I said it in the review, I didn't feel that in the second half, once Antonio, who I didn't think was a massive threat during the game, by the way, and Masuaku, who had a stinker, once they went off, oh dear, this is really, really bad. I mentioned it already before, I'll mention it again. There are a number of foot races. Kane outpaced Zuma, not good at all. Kane is not a fast player. He's not as slow as everybody makes happen. He's not a fast player. But you've got players like Son who are just on a different level to anything that we got. Reguilon outpaced Johnson. Johnson's not fast. Again, he's not horrendously slow, but he is not fast. I looked at our team once and I thought the quickest player we had on the pitch was Lanzini. And I wouldn't even call Lanzini quick. He's nippy over a couple of yards. He's sharp. But if Lanzini is your quickest player on the pitch, then you're going to have problems. Now, another foot race with Romero and Benrahma. And Benrahma played really well. Let's just get that out there, because I know I always get mentioning Benrahma. Someone might have actually been faster than him. Was my man of the match. Thought he was the only one that had any. And anything sort of creative, anyone that posed a threat, I thought it was Benrahma. That being said, he was outpaced by a clunky centre-half. We lack in pace. Not everyone's got to be quick, but when you're relying on a counter-attack, you've got to be able to have someone that's going to run into the channels. The race between Doherty and Fornells was a bit embarrassing, really. This was happening all over the pitch. And then when you see a foot race with Højbjerg and Souček and Højbjerg's winning, then you're thinking, okay, we do really have some problems here. I mentioned, look, Antonio's pretty fast, but you put it with his strength as well. Even if he has comparable speed to somebody else, as long as he's shoulder to shoulder, Antonio's going to win because he's going to barge him out of there. But it is worrying quite how much of our play in terms of counter-attacking is down to him. But then there's Bowen, which we'll get onto in a second. Before I do, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. If you want to go onto the OneFootball app, you can read about this miserable loss to Tottenham. There's no worse team, is there, to lose to? Let's be fair. You can read about that in the OneFootball app. If you want to look forward to our next games, which we've got an international break, sign up to the OneFootball app. All you would do is when you sign up, say I support West Ham and I follow England. Well, that's for me. You might follow somebody else. What it does, it will put all the international news together for me with all the West Ham news, results, fixtures, top goal scorers, transfer gossip from all the different newspapers and websites, puts it all together, and it only gives you the stories that you might be interested in. That's the OneFootball app. Bowen's a miss. We managed to stumble through without him. But again, outright pace, no, but he's sharp. And I think when just having a few of those players, the opposition can sit back a little bit. And what you saw in the second half was, particularly when his players went up, Spurs' back line just moved up the pitch. And they could do so. There was no threat in behind. Far be it from me, particularly at this moment in time, to say anything bad about Yarmolenko, who's been an absolute hero from us. But he needed the ball played into him. And very much when he received the ball, he was in a position of a target man. Like Antonio had been, he was trying to keep the guy behind him, trying to lay the ball off. Not really his game. I also felt a bit sorry for him a couple of times it was played up to him. I think Cresswell played it into him once, into his feet. There was no one near him. Because no one could really keep up with the pace of the ball that Cresswell put in there. Vlasic came on. I looked and thought, oh, there's another slow one. I go, not slow. Okay, that's probably, that lacks accuracy to say that he's slow. But I'm talking medium paced. If it was cricket, we ain't got no fast bowlers, all right? We got a few medium-paced swing bowlers, put it that way. And it was impacted as a result. There was other things that I mentioned. I think we crossed the ball well enough in that game. If you're going to put Souček in the box, you're going to liberate, you're going to free him up, stick him in the box, give the big fella something to head. I didn't think we utilised him enough. Lots will be said about Masuaku. All I would say about Masuaku is he is so far away from being a Moyes player, it's unbelievable. Moyes would never go and sign Masuaku. He does not have that grit and that determination that he's going to keep running and keep running. I thought it was a really interesting one, and I'm sort of mindful not to use words like it was criminal and all of this sort of stuff, what he did. But I think if I was somebody like Moyes, I think I'd look at that. When I say that, I mean his role in the first goal, how lazy, how many touches he won, how he just thought he was going to be able to have that many touches and dribble the ball until he deemed it that his dribble had been over. I mean, it just didn't even enter his thinking that somebody just kind of nicked the ball off of him. And they're just not going to let you do that, a team like Tottenham. And I look at it, and I think David Moyes might have looked at that and thought, he just can't play. I thought Moyes got his system wrong. I thought the centre-backs were the wrong way round, and a lot of things I mentioned in the review. But even taking that away from the equation, you still want your players to do the bare basics, which is put all the effort in, to be sharp, to be switched on, and to leave the field of play absolutely cream-crackered. And I don't think you can look at Masuaku and say that was the case. And it's not an overall lethargy, but he's just not sharp, not as quick and sharp as you should be. I think, mate, you're playing on a top-level game of football here. Premier League against a really good team with excellent players, a team with of a really top-class manager, some really good players who are pretty sharp, tactically switched on as well. They're not going to let you dilly-dally around like you're in a game of FIFA Freestyle. It just ain't going to happen. Did we have any choices? Well, I thought there were choices, but David Moyes obviously went with that particular one. I'm not sure he'll do it again. Let's be fair, they're all important games between now and the end of the season. That was important. That was really important. Between now and the end of the season, they're all important. I can't imagine that there's any space for Masuaku in the team. Wouldn't be surprised if that's it. Unless by some freak we get a massive lead against Olympic Lyonnais, which I don't think we will. I think those will be tight games, and then in the return leg, he plays Masuaku for the last half hour or something. I just can't see it. I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen Masuaku for the last time. But I don't hang the defeat all on him. I thought there was a general lethargy to the team, which I totally understand. As I say, this is not some big thing about the season or anything like that. We're still banging for a good season. What I do think it's really important, though, when we recruit in the summer, that we really must make sure we bring in another quick player or two. I don't mind the style of football. I quite like it. I don't mind counter-attacking football at all. But if you play counter-attacking football, you need quick players. And we just don't have enough of them. Anyway, we got a couple of weeks now. We might even cover a bit of the international football on here. They're only friendlies. I don't think there's anything brilliant to cover. So there's going to be a lot of West Ham news. But we'll keep the videos coming. I think the team need a break. I really do. Be really interested to see what happens with Antonio, whether he goes off with Jamaica or not. Was that a sign? Was that a sign that he came off so early? I don't know. He was knackered though, wasn't he? Anyway, I'll catch up with you tomorrow.